HarperCollins presents Before Dorothy by Hazel Gaynor, read by Saskia Maarleveld.
This one's for you, Bran and Joe. With love, X. Now I could tell my story. It was different from the story told about me. From Mother Ireland by Evie Woods. I believe any man must see beauty in mile upon mile of level land, where the wheat, waist high, sways to the slightest breeze and is turning a golden yellow under a flaming July sun. To me, it is breathtaking, the most beautiful scene in all the world. From Farming the Dust Bowl by Lawrence Swabida. Prologue. Extract from Wonderful, A Life on the Prairie by Gale. The first time I saw the prairie was like waking from a dream, suddenly and vibrantly aware of my surroundings in a way I'd never been before. Every color was brighter, every sound clearer, every flowering thing more beautiful and mesmerizing and fragrant. I gazed upon the shimmering mirage of emeralds and golds and couldn't believe such a place existed, or that I would now call that place home. It was heaven, if you believe in such a thing. A fairy tale if you don't. Back in the city, I had marveled at the great showmen and carnival hucksters with their clever tricks and impossible illusions. But those first months on the prairie taught me that nature is the only true magician. Spend a moment watching the hypnotic beauty of a single stalk of golden wheat nodding in the gentle morning breeze, or feel the thrill of the first green shoots pushing up through the dirt. Then tell me there isn't magic here, that you are not bewitched by its beauty, as I was. Some thought we were fools to try and build a new life here. Others thought we were brave. Perhaps we were a little of both. Even with the storm that whirled in my heart, heavy with the knowledge of what I'd left behind, I felt the thrill of arriving somewhere extraordinary. Here was a place I could call home, a life to be fully lived, a story waiting to be written among the furrows of our newly plowed earth. I dug myself in, planted my hopes and dreams and love into the rich Kansas soil, and waited for them to flourish beneath the generous sun and benevolent rains. I had yet to learn that the prairie would not be so easily tamed, that our story here wouldn't be shaped by the color of our dreams, but by the struggles we would endure, and the courage we would find to keep going. Part 1. Chicago, 1932 and 1922 to 1924. A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. The Wizard of Oz. Chapter 1. February, 1932. The city was a colorless palette of gray as Emily Gale arrived at her sister's South Shore row house. Even the familiar brownstone building that had once carried shades of copper and gold in its brickwork was now dulled. She paused at the foot of the steps and drew in a long, anxious breath. The frigid air caught the back of her throat and made her cough. Courage, Em. Courage. Henry's parting words were a distant echo, muffled by the miles she'd traveled from Kansas, and further diminished by the city's towering skyscrapers. She had never felt so out of place, so uncertain, so entirely alone. There was no sweet meadowlark song to cheer her, no comforting rush of rippling ripened wheat, no trace of the purpose and renewal usually carried by the first hopeful day of spring on the prairie. This was a place of sorrow and uncertainty. A wave of grief and guilt consumed her. Courage. She took a moment to compose herself, stiffening her shoulders before she walked up the steps and lifted the heavy iron knocker, letting it fall, just once, against the imposing ebony door. The sound carried the somber tone of a church bell at a funeral mass, appropriate in the circumstances. A moment passed. Silence.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?